Hello, welcome to another episode of our gender issues solvable. Today we're going to part 10. Divorce is another area where a woman gets the short end of the deal. When a marriage is not working for whatever reasons, the two partners look at all options. The woman, in many cases, will try to stay in it, possibly because of the children or for the fear of the unknown. That is, she's afraid to start all over again. Sometimes the in-laws will beat and throw the woman's property out. Also, in many cases, the woman stays without marrying while the man jumps back into the dating cycle, dating circle. More so is the case when the woman has two or more children. She chooses to take care of them and leave men in their place. If, on the other hand, she chooses to remarry, people, mostly women, will run commentary saying that she should have just minded her children and that she has no reasons to remarry, not after that number of children. The case is worse if she remarries not too long after her divorce. The notion is that she must have been dating that man while she was still married to her last husband. Contemptuous eyes are therefore on her. In divorces, women in developing countries get the worst of it. On a general basis, in any part of the world, a divorced woman would take any one of the following scenario. She vows never to get she vows never to get married again. 2, she jumps into another relationship without thinking twice. 3, decides to avenge the failed marriage on the new man in her life. Or 4, overly conscious that the new man feels that she's not serious. It turns out that no matter which of these options she takes, she is going to get the short end of the deal. If she takes option 1, where she vows never to marry again, she will end up feeling lonely, especially when she wants to turn around and have somebody to talk to in the quiet of her home. If she had children from the first marriage, they will miss out on father figure in their lives, and ignorant neighbors, mostly women, will run her down, and the loose men around her vicinity will want to have a one-night stand with her. If she takes the second option, she's likely to jump from a frying pan into fire, and this time around might be worse than the last relationship. If she takes options 3 or 4, she's likely going to lose out on a potentially good relationship, because with the third option, she will end up hurting the man's feeling, and by the time she realizes, he has moved on. And with the fourth option, the man feels that she's just a player. With the table turned, the man not only bounces back early, but also makes no effort to hide it, and sometimes even flaunts his escapades, so that his ex-wife can be jealous. If the man, on the other hand, wants to take his time, people, including women, will advise him against waiting. There will be women, even unmarried ones, who will be ready to marry him no matter the number of children he had from his previous marriage. For having had children is a handicap to women when it comes to remarrying. This is because the man prefers not to have an already made family because he feels reluctant to take care of another man's children. To him, the woman has too many baggages. He, however, sees nothing wrong with a woman taking care of another woman's children. He insists that she must accept the other woman's children. A divorced mother is cautious to see that her children will accept the new man in her life before she allows the relationship to be taken to the next step. She also wants to know that the man loves her children before going too deep with the man. Men, on the other hand, tend to set the tune for the way a relationship goes. And so, any way you slice it, the men are eating their cake and having it. Divorces can be very bitter when it comes, sometimes especially when it gets to sharing assets and children. If the in-laws get involved, the woman lives with practically nothing because they feel that the man owns everything. Judiciary system in countries like the US at least is fair to women in divorce cases. The woman gets something reasonable from the property depending on the type of pattern arrangements existing between the couple. As far as the children are concerned, many factors are taken into consideration, such as the age, sex of the children, and the mental stability of the parents. If the man has a job that takes him away from home, or has a case of alcoholism, drug addiction, or tends to have emotional disorder, or is likely to abuse his children, the children are given to the mother. When the man's problems are under control, he is given visitation rights and vice versa. It is not the same in the African culture, where no matter what the situation is, the man gets the children, or his family members keep them if the man, for any of the reasons given above, cannot take care of his children. In developed countries, if there are no reasons why the man cannot have the children, more so when the children are no longer babies, both parents have an equal opportunity of having the children, and they will both have a fair judgment. In the African context, the woman is told that she did not bring any children to the husband's house, and so those children are not hers but his. It is the father that claims ownership of children. I wonder if those children there before she got there? After all, in a joint venture where each of the two partners for a business contributes 50% of the takeoff money, it is only fair that they both share the dividends or profit 50% each. In having children, both parents donated 50% each. The mother an egg, one cell. The father a sperm, one cell. The two cells combine to form the baby. The two of them can of course not share a baby, but both should be given equal opportunity to vie for the custody of that child. And the parent that loses out on the custody battle must be given good visitation time. Sometimes divorced African women are denied seeing their children, and the woman is given a strict instruction not to go near where those children are. Sometimes these women will go and hide somewhere close to the children's school just so that they can catch a glimpse of their own children on their way to school. Some will send an unknown person to pass in front of the house of their children, where their children are living, so that such persons can come back and tell the mother about the welfare of her children, as she has been given a strict instruction not to come close to the house. These are things that are still happening in the African setup. For every woman in the world to have an equal opportunity to everything, a peace of mind in her home, all these things need to be addressed. And that is why I am asking, are gender issues solvable? Thank you. I'll see you again next Tuesday when we take part 11.